showing his RTS skill, and he is just crushing every event he goes into. So, ha ha ha. And I'm sure Skew will return for the beta as well. And you guys are going to see that, you know, I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, I want to see Savior against Grubby and this type of thing. And they are great players, great RTS players. And to be honest, I can't wait for the two communities to merge, the Warcraft 3 community and the Starcraft community, the Koreans, the non-Koreans, everything, to just see it merge up into this huge amount of tournaments. Going to be really exciting. But anyways, back on topic. You know, people say things like, I want to see Grubby against Savior and this type of thing. You know, I bet that they'll be good. You know, but people are underestimating the StarCraft foreigners. The top StarCraft foreigners, in my opinion, are going to be amongst the extreme best players. You know, a lot of people argue, oh, Korea's just going to dominate, you know, they always do. No, it takes them years to do it, and that's after the game is getting much more figured out. Yes, some players are just so gifted and will figure it out and be awesome and be up at the top. But some of those players definitely exist in the foreigner scene. Rhett and Skew are two of them. So watch out, because they are going to do so great. I cannot wait to see, you know, Nada against Rhett. That is what I'm waiting for, not any Grubby against Savior. So StarCraft 2 beta coming out. StarCraft 2 going to be out this year, I hope. So exciting. So exciting. All right, on to the Korean news. You know, right now in Korea, the two star leagues just have ridiculously good lineups, MSL and OSL. I cannot say enough about the people who have qualified for these leagues. They are some of the best lineups that I have seen. You know, oftentimes you'll get all these people in there that you're like, what are you doing in there? You know, you'll have like The Rock in there for the 13th time. You're like, oh, what group did you get through? But this time, we don't really have a lot of newbies up there. Almost everyone in it really deserves to be there. Like these players that have just been killing. There hasn't been a ton of upsets. So it's going to be a really great league, both of them. And so, you know, definitely watch for that. And Pro League, it's coming down to the wire. A lot of the teams now cannot make it any longer. There's just a few teams battling for those last couple spots for the playoffs. But a few teams like We Made, Eastro, they can no longer make it, so you'll see them use a few more new people, you know, maybe not the same heart as they had in it before, but, you know, more of a training ground for these new players. So, you know, we're going to be able to see, you know, some of this rising talent get their first shot, and that's a pretty exciting time. In the meantime, we're going to see the top teams jockeying for position even more. You know, even being one position higher is a huge deal. And I cannot wait to see how this season ends, whether Jaedong ends up winning the entire Pro League by himself, or SKT1 can finally come out there and just crush everything with Bisu Fantasy Best Trio. And, you know, that's going to be really awesome to watch. And in fact, recently we saw one of these really high-level matches in Samsung against SKT1, and it was actually a really great match. And I must point out the Fantasy vs. Jongbi game. Go watch it, okay? Jongbi has some of the best PvT anyone has ever seen, okay? He had 90% almost of PvT win, if I recall correctly. And maybe it was 80, but anyways, Jongbi was just crushing. And, you know, he's a little bit slumping right now, but still, great PvT, great to watch. But Fantasy, oh my God, this kid is out of control. He is a genius. Look at him play. He is revolutionizing Terran just like Flash was a few months ago. Flash, a much more economical player. You know, he is better at managing the economy than anyone I've ever seen. Fantasy, though, his unit movements, his harassment techniques, they are on another level of anyone's ever. This is like 2004 all over again. You know, dropships, vultures everywhere. It is awesome to watch. So go watch this game. An excellent game between Jongbi and Fantasy. I don't really want to spoil it for you because I swear to God this game is going to knock your socks off. And you know, there is a few other things going on in the Korean scene here. And, you know, one of them is this whole Lita scandal. Lita versus KT. You know, he was playing in the game. They asked for a pause. They said that he looked towards, you know, you're supposed to keep your eyes on the screen, and apparently went like that. You know, he just kind of looked over in the audience real quick and, you know, got a visual clue from the audience. And, you know, things like this have happened before, as people pointed out with Flash, you know, someone holding up a big sign and waving it. You know, you see that out of your peripheral vision. A lot of times in StarCraft, though, I can vouch that you're concentrating so hard during your match that the peripheral vision you don't see quite as clearly. So I think it's not as big a problem as it may seem when you start to think about it. But Leta, looking into the crowd, he denies it. He says something like he was rolling his eyes. But that is actually a bunch of baloney. I am going to tell you all out there that the word on the inside is that Leta has done this before multiple times, and basically everyone knows he did it. Okay, so there you go. That is some inside gossip from Korea for you. Leta has been cheating in the Pro League, most likely. What are they going to do about it? I don't know. You know, this is one of those hard situations where, you know, do we really have proof? Did he really do that? Was he rolling his eyes? Was this intentional? Was it unintentional? And, you know, it's something that plagues gaming quite a bit because it's so hard to, you know, to call things down lines like this. You know, how do you end up doing that? How do you end up calling it? And, you know, I don't know what they're supposed to do about it exactly. It's really hard to say. You know, in foreigner scene, you know, you can kind of, in tournaments that I've run at least, you know, if someone's cheating, I will just kick them out because I know you're cheating, and, you know, that's the way it is. But, you know, this is a lot of money involved. You know, this is this kid's career. What do you do with him if he is cheating? And if he's saying he's not cheating, can you do the same thing without proper proof? I don't know. It's hard to say, but the people in the know really are like, you know what, this guy is cheating. So, you know, it's too bad. It's kind of a shame, and it's really kind of gross. I hope that pro gaming gets through this disgusting slump we're seeing between Kespa and players cheating and, you know, all this baloney drama. You know, Leta's a great player, but, you know, if he's cheating, I think he needs to be banned for a while. We'll have to see how this goes, though. You know, maybe they're wrong, but I generally tend to believe the people who know what they're talking about instead of someone who's just denying it flat out after you see his eyes go to the side on the camera during a match like this with builds like those. Anyways, that is the Korean scene, and before I forget, let me give you the tip of the week here. And the tip of the week is not going to be exactly gameplay oriented. This is something else that you do to help your gameplay, and that is keep a build order notebook. You know, some people laugh at that. They're like, oh, you are such a nerd, writing down your build orders in a notebook. But no. If you want to get really good at this game, you should have a notebook and a pencil next to your computer, and you should be writing out build orders. Find replays of pro gamers. Find replays. You know, if you see an Hydra replay out there that he wins, that if he wins the game, then it went right for him, and he has the pro gamer builds. So any Terrans out there, that's a good place to get him because a lot of Hydra replays coming out through all these tournaments that he's playing in. And you know, if you can just sometimes here and there we see pro gamer replays that are released. You know, take a good look at those. If it's a very standard game, take the replay, watch it on, you know, very slow speeds, write down the build order completely, and use that notebook during the game. Look over at it, try to get your build order as close to the orders in your notebook as you possibly can. This is going to help you out a whole lot. Really. I mean, freestyling is great, and it can teach you a lot if you just freestyle your build orders all the time. You know, that's going to give you a certain degree of flexibility in a lot of games that go weird. But, you know, the build order notebook style where you actually have this set thing that you're going to do and you are going to practice until you can execute it perfectly, that is the type of thing that is going to bring you to another level altogether, okay? So, you know, go get a notebook, put it next to your computer, write these things down. You have any thoughts about anything, you just jot them down, and it keeps it working in your mind to write it down. It really does help quite a bit. You know, I have been a big advocate of the build order notebook for maybe a year and a half or 2 years now. So try it out. Anyways, that is it for the weekly news this week. Thank you for watching. Any comments, questions, suggestions, just drop me a line and we'll try to do that. All right. So thank you much, and good luck. Have fun.